Hello, hello, hello. It's the RocksAlot, and we're going to do some more cutting this week. So, sort of prepared. Going to wait for people to come in. Um, but I've got some chunky stuff right here, and I'm going to cut it up. Just make sure my saw works. So that's good. Just do a quick test. Boop, boop, boop. Like that. Maybe a little noisy, and yeah, should be interesting. Ugh. Afternoon, everyone. Welcome in. So today, I'm going to do some more cutting this week, and maybe go live on the weekend when I do some actual shaping and polishing of some of this stuff that we cut today. Hi, how are you, Desiree? Welcome in. Just getting going. But today I got some more chunks of really cheap turquoise in. Came in from Sam, who is Specialty Cabs and Block on Etsy. This is just some of the stuff that he does and doesn't put in his block. And I am outside. I hope it's going to stay nice. We'll see. But it's going to get noisy. So just to show you how noisy it's going to get, let's turn the saw on real quick. And you can adjust your volume. And hi, Marlene. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm not knowledgeable and I'm learning. So I'm just sharing what I have learned over the last few years. It's been like 3 or 4 years, and doing turquoise and opal, and I do some slabs, agates, and jaspers and such. This is just going to be a noise test, just to let you know it's going to get noisy. And I will. Hi, Deborah. Welcome in. I will. I did not speak to Beth from Grand Old Things. I have not seen much of her online lately. Hey, that opal guy. And the noise? No, it's nothing new. But no, I have not heard from Beth. I do wear her t-shirts that I got, and that's probably 3 months ago. So I hope she's doing okay. But let me go ahead and get going on this. Oh, she did? I didn't know that. Well, that's super nice of her. I'd love her to visit in the chat. I'd be honored. So this is what we got today. We got a huge bag. It was meant to be a pound, and he just threw a whole bunch of stuff in there. And we're gonna sort through some of it. I got to get through it. It's not expensive at all. I got that whole bag for under $100, and we have a few different types in here. I know he uses both Sonoran green and gaspeite for some of his block. And actually, do I have some of his block? I think I have a piece of his block out here. I do, because I'm gonna cut a piece of his block later on as well. So this is some of the stuff that Sam makes and sells on Etsy. Welcome everybody, thanks for popping in. Really appreciate it. Thursday again. So this is Sam's block. Pretty thick. It's almost 10 millimeters thick. We're gonna try and cut around some of these dried up areas and cracks in here. We'll do that after I do a few of these nuggets. But this is what he makes, and he does all sorts. He uses turquoise, he does spiny oyster, both orange and purple. And yeah, he makes some pretty amazing stuff. So I just grabbed, I think he had 100 pounds, so I grabbed, I think a pound and a half, something like that. So we're gonna go through a few of these and see what we can see inside. I don't think that's gonna be special, so I don't think it'll take much for me to get my money back. But we're gonna get going with some noise. Let me get on, what else do I have here? I have a plastic poncho because I'm gonna get soaked. So these are my favorite things from Walmart. I don't know if you can see my socks. I don't have socks on today. I wish I could go barefoot all the time, but I'm dealing with electricity today, so I do have something between me and the ground. Yeah, so today we're going to do some cutting, and then maybe on the weekend I'll come on back live again, depending on what the schedule's looking like. Hello, Miss KG. Welcome in. And yeah, we'll probably go live, and then I'll be on the Genie inside, and we'll shape some of these stones up. And I have a few other little fire agates to do today. And yeah, I would turn you. Hi, Ellie. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. Just about to get noisy, and there's no going to be no. It's all going to be random. And I'm just going to start cutting these up and stashing them, and we'll go from there. So the thing I do want to see is the difference between these lighter ones and these darker ones. These ones that have been rounded like that, I kind of know what's inside, and it's nothing too special. Oops, dropping stuff. Let's take a few pieces. Let me get a good piece to cut. Yeah, that'll work. Let me show you one of these dullish ones. Light ones. Okay, so let's try these. That's 10 of them, and we'll see the difference between these light and dark ones. Hopefully we get something good out of it. Oop, pop. Now I do have to focus. This blade is pretty sharp, and it's pretty quick, maybe a little bit too quick. So let's start with a thick one and see what we get out of that. If this poncho doesn't get out of my way, it's gonna go. All right, here we go. Some noise. Do 4 of them. do this little one over here. And I am a pretty good neighbor. I do warn them when I'm going to come out here and cut. So we'll look at this first one. This is one of the lighter colored ones. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at that. That's, honestly, I was expecting these ones to be blue. And that is just popping. Look at that. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. That is really not what I expected. I didn't try and window any of these. Yeah, the colors. So this, I believe, is not gaspeite. This must be the Sonoran green. That's really good news. Welcome everybody, by the way, if you just popped in after I started cutting. If you wouldn't mind going ahead and hitting that like button and subscribing if you haven't. Try to go live once a week, and I throw out a few shorts and videos during the week as well. So I assume, now that I've seen this light color, and now I can really see it, this is going to be the same. Wow. And it's got this little web inside of it. So almost like a water web in a kingman, where it's surrounded by clearer. Wow. So yeah, very happy with that. That's gorgeous.
It's an amazing green.
It's an amazing green.
Reminds me of a Luna moth.
A Luna moth. Okay, so that's two green greens. Let's do the big one, which I thought this was going to be green. And it is, but
You see brown?
a bit muddier. And yeah,
Brown.
mostly brown in there. A few little spots. But yeah, nothing special in that one. And then the last little one, speckly green.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually got some really nice greens into it. So yeah, I think just with these three and me cabbing these out, I'm going to be able to go ahead and make my money back, which is fabulous. Okay, that's great. I think I scared a few people away with the noise, but that's okay. This is part of what has to be done. So I'm going to put those away in here, and we'll keep on going. We got 6 more of those to go. So let's try this one. That first one was a little brown, but let's see how we do here. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, that sort of neon-y green. It's not quite neon, but it's lovely. You'll definitely see, like if I set that in silver, you'll see that piece, you know, from across the room, which will be just fantastic. Chartreuse. There you go. Yeah, that's a good word for it for sure. Good description. And a bright chartreuse. So let's give a try on this one, and we'll do this funky looking little one. It's kind of speckled, so I'm going to try and keep the speckles on it. It's not number 8, but something similar. And let's do the dull one just to get it out of the way. I've seen these before. Watch it prove me wrong. But you know what? We got 6. They're pretty small. I'm going to go ahead and cut them all at the same time, so we only get the noise once. Welcome everybody. Just going through a big old bag of fairly cheap turquoise and gaspeite, and I think it's a Sonoran green that he has in there. These are not all going to turn out great. Hi Cindy, welcome in. But you never know. So just with the ones we just cut, and I'll show them after I do these 6. So let me do these 6. Gonna get a little noisy, turn down your volume, and let's get these out the way. Here we go. If you see the bubbles, the bubbles, I'm told, if you put a little bit of liquid Dawn or soap detergent in your water, it just helps lessen the viscosity, and it keeps it smooth and runs better on your saw. So that's why I have bubbles. Plus, I like bubbles. So here we go. It's pretty ugly one. Cut them and then show them. I was gonna wait, but I'm gonna put a little more water in here before it's too late and it dries up on me. Oh no. As you can tell, I'm very safe. That's good. Let's get this next one. We've got 4 to go. Kind of like that, so I think I'm going to cut it this way. I like the little dots in this. I'm going to go through here. No. I'm going right through the middle. Right through there. Last one, and then we'll look at them. Going right through the middle. Let's look at this last one first. Pattern's nice, color not terrible, but yep, bubbles, got lots of bubbles. It almost, yeah, that's not terrible, not fantastic. It's really got a decent pattern in here. Start pushing these off. Let's go to the speckly one. Let's see if I did right. I didn't do right, but this is not what I expected. I peeked. You ready? Look at that. It's almost like an agate, but it's not. That is neat. Okay, well that's a surprise. I honestly thought it was going to be sort of speckly like this on the outside. Like that. I was not expecting that. That's great. Yeah, that can make a really nice pair right there. Like a nautilus shell for sure. That or some sort of beaming radar. Hi Mary, welcome in. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really seen that pattern in a phosphate before. Not quite like that. It almost looks like should be going to Starbucks. Alright. That's pretty neat. We'll keep that in the neat pocket. Kind of blows it away for the rest of them. But so this one I cut into 3. It's pretty tiny, but got that beautiful color again. And you can also get it. And I don't know if you can see this on there. Can't touch it. I'm too wet. But it's got like a webbing to it, like a water webbing. So if you know what water webbing is, true water webbing in Kingman, this is very similar. Some people call water webbing when it's just sort of a lighter, whiter color, and that's not true water webbing. And I was mistaken at first too. But that's a really neat little piece. And keep them together so if I need to make pairs and earrings, we can keep them together. I have a feeling about this one, it's got bubbles, and that might be the best part of it. Here we go. Oh, well, okay. It's not what I was expecting either. So, definitely not fantastic. It almost looks sort of like estuaries or water marsh. That one's different. Yeah, definitely earrings. I don't know about this one. Maybe. That last one for sure. Mary, if you just came in, I will show you those first greens that we pulled out. That were just super green. Chartreuse. Alright, here we go. Well, this is completely not what I wanted. Not what I wanted, not what I expected at all. Hi Deborah, welcome in. It is nice to be outside. I don't know what other kind of weather people have, but it is not in the 90s. It's sort of in the light 80s, mid 80s with a little bit of breeze. The sunshine just came out. Pretty neat looking butterfly. Welcome everybody. Hope you're just getting out of work or you're just trying to finish your time up from work and get out of there. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video. It really helps. It pushes people in. I've actually been having a lot of people from the Middle East, India, Europe, and across the northern United States coming in, and that's just really neat. That's really cool. All right, last piece. This is the kind that I think is pretty dull, and I only know that because it's sort of rounded, and I think these were tumbled at some times, but okay, well, not as dull as I thought, but not great. Let's I need to do something here. Let's put the light on. That might help. There we go. Okay, that's a bit better, isn't it? It shows the color a little bit better. Okay. What else have we got? Let's do a few more of these. So we've already got. Let's have a look. I'm going to have a few other things I want to cut today. Just because I have the saw out. So that last one, I imagine, is similar to these. I could cut them, I guess. The bright greens somehow is coming out of this. So let's do those. Here's a pre-cut one. It was not me, but came in the bag. Hi everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a better day because I'm just playing. Well, I'm playing out in the beautiful weather, and we're getting some pretty good results here too. Let's pull out. Let's get a couple more chunkers. Let's see if I can. We'll try that one. Might be too big for this saw. Let's trade that. I'm gonna trade that one for this one. Okay, another one of the dull ones just to see if I'm correct. That's 5. That'll bring us up to 15, 20 of them. So today I'm just going through these. They got to get processed. I've got to look inside. I'm not trying to sell the rough. So I need to go through all of these at some point and see what's inside so I know whether to keep them, give them away, or whatever I happen to do. So let's get these ones done, and then we'll move on to some other sort of material. Hi everybody, welcome. So let's have a look in this one. See if we've got that same green. Here comes some noise. Please turn down your volume. If you don't mind the noise, I don't mind the noise. So here we go. I'm going to show this one and then just run through the others. So this should be the bright green, but we'll see. It's not. It's pretty cool. Really neat, actually. Yeah, I like that. Not the same green I thought. So I thought it was going to be similar to this that I have here, and it is completely different. So you never know what you're going to get. But I do like that. Put that one away. Trying to keep these semi-stacked. Let's do this real quick. Get another box going. To put everything together, I won't remember which half goes to which half. Let's try one of the dullish ones. And we're going to run through these, and then we're going to move on to some other material. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it. Last week we hit the 500 subscribers, which was just awesome, and I really appreciate you all. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was fantastic. So please come in, see us in the lives on Thursdays, mostly Thursdays, and I'm also doing some videos over the weekend and some shorts. So here we go. got like a bug or a crevice in there, so I guess I'm going to cut right through that. Big green, nasty, dirty looking one. It's going to go right through the middle. I'm going to cut this end off first, and then I'll cut this in half. No surprises. And I'm just going to do these even though I know they're not special inside. Last one, I'm going to do 2 cuts on this one. Last one, we're going to go straight through the middle. Alright, let me get my mask off. Okay, we'll go from last to the beginning. Not expecting too much out of these. Welcome everybody, welcome in. I really appreciate you being in, spending some time with me in the afternoon. I wish we could sit down and have some tea or coffee or something at some point. But here's this one. Got some greens in it. But not bad. Nothing to write to my mom about. But pretty cool. Let's see who we have in right now, actually. You come back. Hi, Fomio. Deborah. Do you like this one too? Yeah. This one's got... It's almost like some metal in there, like it's got a pyrite in there somewhere. Got a new box, so doing the bellish ones first. They're nice, but you kind of know what you're going to get. Same again, except it's got some better matrix in this one. Not quite dendrites, but actually that's pretty nice. Yeah, kind of like that. That surprised me. The color's a little more dull, but when you put that matrix in it for contrast, that looks pretty good. Okay, I like that one. Last one of the already tumbled. Again, very similar. Definitely workable. Little nuggets. Alright, so this turned out much better than I thought. Let's do this little one. And ready for this one. Boom. Look at that. That's great. I love that popping color. It just pops. And sometime of the weekend, we're gonna go to onto the Genie with these and get some of these shaped up. And then I'm gonna put them all in the same display case. And this one is nothing special. So this one had the little little cave in it, which was neat. And let's open up that cave. Wow, well, that's different. I don't even know if that one will shape, even if I wanted it to. Oops. That looked like an elephant. Somebody's calling you. Boo! Sorry. But yeah, I had too much coffee. All right, let's do another one. What I call the dull ones, but it's sorry, Deborah. It's tumbled. That's what it is. It's not dull. You never know what you're gonna get in them. It's not bad. It's got some nice contrasting to that too. Yes, and I forget what it's called, Deborah. Pleiades or something like that. There's a Latin name in there somewhere for finding shapes in clouds, and I forget what it is. Maybe somebody could help me out. But yeah, I see quite a few channels just picking up rocks and looking for shapes. I'm like, well, that's not bad. It's, if you have an imagination, you can see things and stuff. So, don't ever lose your imagination, people. What gets us through. So this one we did 3 on, and it's not really going to show much. So got 3. 1. Anybody like this out there? Yeah. And actually this one's got little bugs in it too. Not bad. I think that's quartz running through it. There was a quartz line running through it. Okay, it doesn't want to. No, I don't want to focus. That's weird. There we go. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you. And I hope you're having a decent week. We are slowly getting into fall time, which is wonderful. What else have we got? Alright, now we're going to look at something else. We're going to move on to these. So these are some of the fire agates that I have. Yeah, if you're watching, go ahead and like. It really helps me. Oh, I fill this water up. See the color of this water in here. Yeah, it really helps if you like it. It gets pushed out to other countries and other people, and it really helps. But if you go ahead and subscribe, that also helps me get my videos pushed out during the weekend and the week, and then when I go live during the week. So I've been trying to go live once a week. I might try 2 times just to see if it messes with the algorithm. But I'm pretty happy doing what I'm doing. So these I got from, who did I get these from? Don Dupuy and Dave. These were just the leftovers. As you can see, somebody had already chunked through this one. But we got some fire agate, and this was pretty much what was left. And I don't need to do this one, but there's a little bit of fire left in here. Down the bottom there. I could just cut that out, so I might try sawing that out. I want to see how well this blade works on the agate. The agate is much harder than turquoise and opal that I usually cut, so it may need a different blade. But I want to cut a few of these. So look at this. I'm going to cut some of that color out, I hope. Pre-rubbed. And now I just have to find where I want to cut. I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to cut right across there. 'Cause I believe if I get on the wheel, there's another little piece of fire in there that I can pull out. So yeah, that should be interesting. This one I don't need to do on the here, but look at that. Wow. Come on, there you go. Look at the colors in that. Isn't that gorgeous? So this one will shape up probably over the weekend. Could almost leave it just the way it is and wire wrap it, rather than trying to sort of free form or calibrate it. Yeah, that's pretty, isn't it? You see the different layers going through. I'm going to keep that one that way. So I'm just looking what I need to. This one's a good one to cut. We've got all the ghost on the back, and I got some color in here that I can pull out. So I'm going to give a try on that one. Oh, and then we're going to come to that next. Okay, so let's just do these couple of pieces. I'd like to see how it works on the saw, and how loud and easy it is. So let's start with this one. I'm really going to just cut off the back here, and I may use this petroidal part. It won't have any color, it won't have any flash in it, but it might look pretty nice, just polished up, rough polished on the top. So I'm going to try and take this little area right here. All right, here we go. Welcome everybody, thanks for popping in. We just did some Sonoran green and gaspeite and some other mixes that were mixed in there, and now I'm just trying out the saw, see how well it works on these fire agates. So here we go. If it doesn't work well, I will stop. Couple more. So this one, just going to take down this side so I can get down to this color. Not bad, but a little tricky. Last one. Just sort of sometimes cut these eyes around these eyes. Maybe, yeah. No. It'll work. Okay, so this one, I almost stopped because I started seeing a face in it. I don't know if you see a face or not, but I think coming down this way, so I might just cab it out that way, try and keep the face in there, and even keep some of the ghosting in there. It's not going to be a perfect fire agate anyway, so some of the flash, some of the color, some of the veining, and some of the ghost in the bottom should work out really well. And these other two, so as a test on the saw with the fire agate, it actually worked much better than I thought. It is harder than the turquoise, but not as hard as a true agate. True agates I have to get. So they cut pretty well. And we will try and make something out of this sort of little botryoidal ghosty area. Hi everybody, welcome. If I haven't said hi. And that one's pretty cool too. And I did it far enough away from the fire that's in the middle there. And I'm gonna blend this down. See it pop over here as well. I'm going to blend it down and cab that out and see if we can keep these little eyes down here. Thank you, TOG. If you don't know that opal guy, go to his channel and subscribe. He does some great things with opal and some of your tools that any of you can go buy at Lowe's or Harbor Freight. It's how I started, and not everybody has room or the money to go out and get some of these machines. That's why I'm working with this expensive piece of equipment from Harbor Freight. It is a little bit more dangerous. But one day, I'll get a big, nice island or something like that. Let's put those away. And I got some other material that we're going to cut. Don't you rain on me, dang it. Excuse me. It's decided to rain. I'm gonna move you back real quick. Alright, well, of course I said it was sunny. And what happens? I don't know if we can do it from over here. Alright, well, let me unplug that real quick. I'm hoping it doesn't go on for long. Right. Look at that. Yeah, will you unplug it for me, please? And then I need to get those bags inside. Oh, say hi.
Hi.
So, I'm gonna bring you inside real quick. Probably going to stop as soon as we get done.
Probably.
Alright, well, let's go into the shop instead. You're still there, thank you. I'm sure I lost quite a few people. Boop. That is the Genie. Hold the boxes up. Yep. And what we're going to do instead, what are we going to do instead?
I'm going to look at the green stones.
I'm going to look at green stones, but I have something somewhere that I think we can work on. So I actually have these already I'm sure we're going to get our bots in today. So let's go over here. Change your plan. That's okay. Get you here. Thank you if you stayed in. Gonna rub that real quick. Uh-oh. There we go. Now the only thing is I've got to open that up. Come on. There you go. Awesome. Alright, well if you're still there, thank you. You get to change your plan and gonna move on to the Genie. So I got about 50% of the stuff I wanted to do outside, and so I was talking about that opal guy. So Ben does opal, but he does some amazing photography too and time-lapse stuff, and he also has the equipment. I wish we could put some of our opals under some of his equipment and his talent. So if you go over to his channel, please subscribe to him. He has that radio voice. Been told I have a radio voice, but I don't hear it. So this is some of the big mix that we did. I don't know, last week, week before. And we'll see if we can find anything in there. I have this one to finish off, which I started. What you can see there is mostly stabilization. Yeah, I have a face for a lot of things. Yeah. One day we'll do the big reveal. So, and that's some larimar. Maybe we'll do that. And then I have this piece that I really want to get into. I want to keep that sort of veiny look on the back. Maybe we should try that. Let me show you what I was working on first this week. So what I have been doing during the week was I got commissioned by a jeweler. I've been getting commissions, and which is nice. It's quite the compliment. I have to tell you, I don't enjoy too much doing other people's work when I'm responsible for the outcome. So I was given, let me see if I can show this on my other phone. I was given that to fix. So it's a men's silver ring with broken up lapis. I'm not even sure it was real lapis. And so let's just do this real quick. Take that off. And so yeah, I was given that and a piece of lapis to try and fit into that form. Let me see if I've got it. That's what came out, which is really disgusting. And what else have we got? So this is me working on it. So what I did was I actually put Sharpie on the outside of the ring and then pushed the ring onto a postal sheet, so a label sheet. But that meant that what's showing on the top here is actually the shape of the top of the stone, if that makes any sense. And that's why I had to put a little black in the dot in the ring and also a little black dot on the label. Then I turned it upside down, stuck the label on the lapis, and I also dopped it, and then I did it by hand. So all that sandpaper you see in the back, I did that literally just going back and forth. So it can be done, and I shaped it. I had to drill out some of the silver to flatten it, and as you can see, I have it on a dopping, oh, excuse me. So I have it on a dopping stick, and that way what's facing and joined to the dopping stick is actually the top of the lapis that I want to show on the ring, and that way I could slowly maneuver it around to fit into that setting. Not easy. It just wasn't easy. It's not fun, and I don't know what to charge for it, but the outcome was this. See all the sandpaper in the back, and that was the finished product. So it came out super well, very happy with it, but for what I'm going to get paid for it, it's really probably not worth it. It was a good learning experience, and I can do it. So that's kind of what I was doing this week. Yeah, it worked out really well. So my mind processes things correctly, and I can see forward, if that's the right terminology. But so the back of this stone was next to impossible because all the edges were rounded out with silver in a different sort of angle. And I had to not only polish and shape that edge, but I had to shape the bottom to fit into the setting. So I didn't glue it in. I will let the jeweler glue it in. And yeah, but it turned out really good. So that's what I was doing this week. Sort of, instead of being out here doing what I like, and because I like being here, we're going to try this one. Nuggety. It's a really nice piece of seam. It's turquoise. And we're going to take off this edge. I guess next week we won't mention the weather because things happen. All right, here you go. There's a little bit of noise. And I'm going to try and keep this on the back and get a little bit of an edge to it and then dome it out. I do work on a Diamond Pacific Genie. Okay, so pretty noisy. Get my mask on. Excuse me. Yeah. I can smell the. Hi, Stephen. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I guess you maybe you just got off of work. I don't know. Maybe you just got up. But welcome. Yeah, we were outside cutting, and then. We mentioned the weather and how beautiful it was. It's almost like an arrowhead. And hi Samuel, good afternoon to you, welcome. And so we're going to work on this inside instead. But yeah, we mentioned the weather and then it decided to rain. I love this color. Good color. I'm going to put a little bit more water in here. So, this is not an endorsement, but I did buy one of those magic rigs or something it's called. And it works out so much better than what I was using. I think it's a 22-inch magic rig or something like that. And yeah, it just moves around. I don't have to really do too much. I don't have too much in my way. Sorry about that. If you have motion sickness, I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. But yeah, it works really well. See what we can do here. Bring this in. Welcome everybody, glad you could make it. If you have any questions, just stick them in the chat. I appreciate that, Stephen. I haven't seen an update on yours yet. I'm looking forward to seeing what you start making with those resins, and maybe some of the things you start putting in the resin. So last week we had a great day. We hit 500, which was fantastic. And now we're headed towards that 1,000 mark sometime 10 years from now. But if you're new to the channel, I am RocksAlot, and you'll see me around rock counting communities and lapidary communities. I also go over to the jewelry communities quite a bit. Yeah, I love you all. Everybody seems so kind. It's really amazing. And I'm just showing off some of the stuff I do. I started probably almost 4 years ago. And after doing it for a while on a Dremel and a rotary, the person I bought opal from was kind enough to offer up this Genie, and it's been working with a few maintenance fixes over the last 4 years, might even be 5. So he was nice enough to offer this Genie up to me, and so we traveled down to pick it up, which he insisted we travel to see him to pick it up, which was it's a little odd. Not odd, it was just you're going to see somebody you've never met before, and you don't know who they are, or if they're some sort of serial, you know what I mean, and turned out to be quite the opposite. And he worked for one of our higher agencies in the government, and he traveled around the world collecting rocks while he was doing his agency work. Yeah, it's hard to get into a cycle. I tried with the opal first. I tried with opal first. Thanks to my lovely wife. And little did she know where this was going to end up. But I enjoy doing the softer stones. You get a quicker result. And then, working on agates as well, jaspers, petrified woods, larimar. Okay, we're going to start taking this down. It's a really good mix. I'm hoping to get most of this matrix off the top. Here we go. What if you put the black on the back? Can you pour the black first and then put a clear resin on top? decent out of this one. So I'm trying to make it a big giant teardrop, but if anything, if I have to, I can cut that out. Not yet. Thank you all for sticking around. I'm not you all out here for the cut outside, but it worked out really well. I've got some really nice super greens, chartreuse greens. Alright. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Okay, so now the question is, do I chop it? Or do we leave it like that? Right now, because of how high that dome is right here, I could still get a really good oval out of it. Yeah, you can take them off. Thing I have a hard time with. So I've seen some people that have been doing it for decades, but you know, I tend to get just my index finger disappears when I'm not thinking about it. It doesn't hurt, but and it's not quick. It takes a long time to do that. So part of it's because I'm too lazy to put it on a dopstick and like freehand working it. Not too bad. But you can put your hand on, so yeah. But you can't even feel the grip, and it doesn't take anything off. Now this one is an 80 grit. You can't really even feel that much, you know. And it doesn't get hot. It's got the water going. This one down here. Oops. Let's move over a little bit anyway. So this one you can feel a little bit more, but that's the soft one. I think, yeah, I do need your help. So right now, all that matrix, there may be a point that color starts coming out of the matrix. So do we leave that in and keep going with a giant triangle or teardrop? Okay. I mean, so even if I don't like it at the end, I think if I do it correctly, I could still come around and take that out. Like, you kind of see it like that. So, yeah. Just shape it up a little bit more. Make sure my girdle's the same all the way around. Bring that down a little. And right now I'm keeping this back. I kind of think it looks cool. Teardrop. I just need this line to be the same all the way around. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I really have a strong country accent, and when I put a mask on, it sort of sounds English. Or Australian or South African or something. Hi, Tanya. Welcome in. We haven't been too bad on the bots today. I've noticed it happening in a few different channels. Had a couple. But, as long as they leave plenty of comments, it helps my it helps my analytics and my algorithm. Depends what they say. So, I grew up in England. England and Belgium and the United States. But schooling was England. No, that's not true. I did some in Belgium too. So I find myself listening to French people sing sometimes. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And then, kind of makes sense after a few minutes. I learned some German too, but my German teacher did not get along very well. So, Tanya, while you're there, I've been trying to, I was just showing this to everybody earlier. This was a piece, I just reset that stone in there for the local jeweler. And he's been in business for 50, 60 years. And he doesn't want to give up his shop, but his whole family telling him to give up his shop. And I think the best way to do it is to do it on YouTube. Just a suggestion from me. Has some fantastic stuff. He does a lot of consignment stuff as well. He has used a few of my stones in some of his pieces. He does a lot of sand casting. So it's a little bit of funky shape and dome. It's not terrible. But I think I'm going to leave it like that for right now. Let it sit. Let it sit with me for a little while. And decide what I'm going to do. But I actually like this back. I like the way it veins. It's got that seam, and I think we're going to leave that one like that. Oh, you did? See, I like sand casting. If it's done well, I just bought a belt buckle not that long ago. Let's try this. So let's try this. We did the larimar last week. This was just a little piece that somehow jumped out of a bag. So what happens with larimar is this black matrixy is not very stable and will probably just get wet and crumble off. But we can give it a try. See if we can get anything. Go back over here. Yeah, I didn't cut any of this last week, so it's going to be loud. Okay, that's really loud, so yeah. Mind your volume. Thank you all for being here. If you go ahead and hit that like button, that'd be great. If you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. I do at least one live a week, and maybe hitting one over the weekend, dealing with turquoise opal, larimar, agates, petrified woods, jaspers, palm roots, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you could do this. So let's watch this crumble. I'm pushing very hard. See how it just starts coming to crumble. So if you're ever buying larimar or rough, there it goes. Bam. It just jumps right off. So this is not easy to cut. But we're going to do it anyway. I guess that noise just scared a whole bunch of people away. faster. Gonna be on for about, I don't know, 20 more minutes. See if we can get something done with this in 20 minutes. So just the same with the turquoise. Start pulling a dome at about a 45 down to the girdle. The girdle is different than your dome. Okay. So the reason I'm doing this piece is so when you see the larimar that you do see, think of what it took to get that pure cab out of there, because it's just not easy. We've had larimar up and down the East Coast for a while. I know it makes it out to Tucson. There's also a lot of fake larimar. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Loud out here. I've got some new microphones this week. I haven't tried them out yet. And the other thing with larimar is you can't push very hard. And that's because it's a pectolite. Hi, my Captivo. Welcome in. They're doing pretty good. I think you'll find there's a few people you know in the chat right now, too. And really appreciate what you do for everybody and pushing people's channels out and everything. It really, really helps. I don't know how we're doing on the new subscriptions today. Last week was awesome. We hit that 500 mark. Okay. So this is on an 80 grit and it's taking a long time. Stop doming it. Oop. Not enough water. Well, that's good. So yeah, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. That really helps me. I think that means we've had like 12 or 13 today. And really, honestly, I'd be doing this anyway. So I'm just glad I can share it with all of you. So this isn't some super bright blue larimar. You can never tell from the outside. All right, so now I'm starting to get a shape. I think what's left of the black, except for this little piece, is solid enough not to pop out. That's good. So yeah, just this little rough area right here. Could go outside and cut some more stones too. Maybe we'll do that. Is it still raining? It's still raining. So that's a long time to spend on the 80 grit wheel. See, I'm just rotating, trying to keep the same angle going across the dome. I'm trying to keep the same height from the bottom. Okay. I'm going to move over. Hi everybody, welcome in. Hope you had a good day. We are working nothing special. It's a decent piece of larimar. Just trying to get some of the carbonized area out. It is hard. Make things a little smoother. If it stops raining, maybe we'll go out. I don't know. There's some other pieces I really wanted to get on the saw. So I had plenty to work on this weekend. Alright, that's not too bad. Maybe a bit of the wiggle waggle. There's a lot of different noises with lapidary. Some you might like, and some are absolutely offensive. This one's not too bad. Kind of round it off a little. But this works. Let me just dome it a little bit. The top still has a few facets. So you can kind of see, and this is the pectolite formation where it stars out. Sorry about that. Sort of stars out like that. And it actually starts like a nucleus, I think, probably under that little black spot there. So there is other pectolite in the world. I believe it's New York. But it's white and very fibrous. Dominican Republic's the only place that you can get blue pectolite. Alright, that's good. Let's pull that a little bit. Alright, we're almost done with this one. Just doing the 3 wheels today to get some How's that work for everybody? Everybody okay with that? See if we can get some of those facets out. This is a wiggle waggle. This is where I end up losing my nails. Get that a little further down. Alright, now the color's coming out really nice. Different shades. And I like some of the carbonization in there. It's not webbing, but it sort of gives it that same contrast. So in the chat, is there anything you'd really like me to see me do? And I don't mean dance or sing. Is there anything rock related that you'd like to see me do? If I don't have it, I would certainly source it, and I'd be happy to share it with everybody. So is there a particular material you would like to see? Choices, I know. Everybody needs choices. Turn the back a little bit. Okay, that looks great. And yeah, I kind of like that. A little smoother. Round that edge a little better and more evenly. I think the rain stopped. We'll try one more piece. And we may go outside because I have a couple pieces of phosphosiderite, which is purple in color and from Peru. But I'd like to cut a few pieces up just so I can get them on the wheel to see how they cut. So we might go out and do that. Oh yeah. Hour and a half we've been on, that's not too bad. Yeah, I mean it's mostly blue. There's a little bit of sort of gray tone to some of it. And so it has this clear area. Some of the blues, ocean blues, sort of Caribbean blues. And that's pretty neat. I'm going to leave that one. Let's do, let me see. Let's do a surprise one. No, it's not a surprise. It's just a chunk that I've cut. Got JB Weld on the back. And we're about to make this water extremely dirty. Welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a good day or evening. Okay, see how quick that came off? So this is just to stabilize it a little bit. It's really thin and a lot thinner than what you're seeing right now. And around the whole outside here. And I don't remember what color it is underneath, to be honest. I don't even know if there's any color underneath. A lot of it disappears on the edge. This is some of that American-Mexican mix. And I think we're going to have some new material to work with next week. Okay, let's have a look. That's some nice colors. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Yeah, that'll help. Think about this little crevice right here. Also need to get out, so Diamond Pacific put out a little rest that you can rest your cabs on, and it goes to just above the middle of the equator of the wheel, and it helps one get an even girdle all the way around. But you actually do it upside down, and that way it angles it this way. Oh, I did not remember this color under here. About ready to take the top off, just to see what's under there. And the water's there, got my mask on, got my glasses on. Welcome in, everybody. Alright, let's see what's underneath here. I'm trying to get an idea. Alright, here we go. I think we're going to do the other wheel. It'll be quicker. Quicker, but a little tougher on the stone. So I've got to be careful. Because it may disappear quicker than I want. So I'm just going around. I've sort of done my girdle. I'm just going around above the girdle, starting off at a 45. I'm try and get, try and get the same height. Then you go around after the 45 at about a 30. That brings everything into the center a little bit. Start stoning it off. And there you go. I'm actually we're going to do a bit more on the middle one, and then I'll show you. That's a tease reveal right there. Get my water going. So same thing. Wow. Welcome everybody to RocksAlot. Opal, turquoise, agate, jaspers, petrified wood. A little bit of fun. A little bit of not so much fun when things don't quite go the way you want them to go, but that's part of the business. And for me, this helps me with my mental health. We all have our ways of dealing with stuff like that. This is just one of mine. Okay. What is that? Not a bright blue, but got a decent color to it. A little more earthy, and to me a little more natural. I see some stones out there now that you're like, did that really come out of the ground that way? And a lot of the time, if you're saying that to yourself, it probably didn't. Unless you know it's coming from a really good source. There's so much treated and colored, and you say it's turquoise, it's not really turquoise. Alright, ready for, here's a quick review. That's a pretty nice color to me. A lot to do on the shape, but let's see, pretty good. I'm actually going to take this off here. Give it a little more natural shape. Or more appealing, I should say. Okay, I'm off camera. Off camera, and I'm off water, which isn't good either. Okay, there we go. See if that's nicer. Okay, much better shape. A little bit more in there. And bring that back down so it's even. Oops. Much nicer. And now we're going to take some of the facets out on the Nova wheel. My biggest challenge rock. Quite a few. So opal can play games with your mind, because you can spend a good amount of time on it, and if it has a very thin bar on it, it can disappear. It's like you can spend hours on it. In fact, I have an example of it. I did some inlay for somebody. I got it down to less than 1 millimeter. It was a curved piece of black opal. Although it was really more of a crystal opal, because it didn't show the colors unless it was backed with black. And yeah, I got it all the way perfect, got it inlaid into the ring, and then took it to, polish of 3000. And once I got it to a polish of 3000, it looked absolutely fantastic. And I didn't want to take it to the cerium, because the cerium would get stuck where the inlay was, so I didn't want to put cerium on it. So I was like, well, I'll get the Dremel bits out, so the 8000, the 14,000, and the 50,000. And my Dremel is a much higher RPM than what I'm working on now. This is the RPM on here is, I think, 1750. And the RPM on my Dremel was like 3000 something. So there's two reasons for the water in here. Well, there's a few, but hi Vicky. One of the reasons the water's here is to keep me alive and keep the silicosis from occurring, so all the powdered stone going up in the air and then into my lungs. So this helps with that. So the other thing the water does is cooling. And so I was working on that opal inlay ring, and I put it on the 8000, but I didn't have any water on it, and it showed a small crack. And then after showing a small crack, I could have stopped it there, but didn't. And I went on to the 14,000 thinking, well, maybe it's just a shallow crack. And then while I was doing that, I actually felt it and heard it click, like a little clicking sound. And not only did it now have a crack in it, but a little chip had gone flying. And anyway, so I took it to the jeweler, and I think he probably just put epoxy in it. Wanted to see if the client would keep it the way it was. It still looked good. It had a crack in it. And the problem with it was we were putting real opal into a ring that had synthetic opal in it. And the synthetic opal would have been much easier because it has some giveaway. Whereas, you know, real opal, it's solid. Alright, this looks pretty good. And a little, where is it? And a little chipper thing here that I gotta take out. And I need some light. Where'd the light go? I think, sorry about that. So there's a little chipper thing right there, and I need to get that out. And bring that in slightly. I'm gonna roll it out. Yeah, come on. Done really softly. Bring that girdle down just a little bit. I've got lots to work with. Girdles I like somewhere between 3 and 5 millimeters. It can be higher, but depending on how you're setting it, it's not going to be any good. Alright, that's good. Oopsie. Welcome in, Vicky. Glad you could make it. What are we on? I guess we're going to hit the 2 hours. Why not? And I might take you outside real quick, and we'll finish up on the saw if I can get it going quick enough. Alright. That's really nice. That little chip came out. So not bad for rain. That took us, what, 40 minutes? So that's a really nice piece. Not too bad, much better than I thought it was going to. That's larimar. And then this was a different piece of turquoise that I really like. I still might end up doing that, but I actually like the back with this little vein from the seam in the back. I like that natural look. So I don't know if I can make that into a pendant. Alright. If you weren't here earlier, this was my little commission piece that I finished this week. I was just replacing that lapis. And just turn that off. It's raining still. Yeah, it's still raining, so we're not going to make it outside. What else can we do? So I can show you what I wanted to do, and maybe we'll do it over the weekend. So we got all the green. This is from earlier in the, let's go over here. Let's get one of these. You do a little roundabout, like that. That's all. Excuse me. Come on. Did it just break? Surely not. Sorry about that. Alright, that's not working. Sorry, I gotta change what we're doing here. Sorry, my There we go. My stand just undid. That was not part of the plan. So I'm going to change for a few minutes. Change to a different stand. Like that. And we'll show off what we did earlier. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm having issues with stands. Let's go down. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. So this was some of the stuff that we did earlier. Where is it? These were some of the first pieces. They came out kapow. How about that? That's from the early cutting. And the green is just magnificent. It's natural. We've got some other pieces in here. A little bit more dull. This one was neat. This one was pretty neat. It's just a little nugget. And split it in two, and I was not expecting this. Looks like a green creamsicle. Almost like an agate. But definitely different. Really different. And yeah, we mostly had greens in that. And then we did some, I did a fire agate. So if it hadn't have started raining, and we'll do this over the weekend, I think, just to do a catch up. Some more of these. I had this to do. So some of the green that we cut is similar to the green that is in this block. And I really wanted to cut this block into a few pieces so we could cab it out. This is from Specialty Cabs and Block. This is Sonoran, green, gaspeite, and there's a different mix in there as well. Oh, I can take this mask off, thank goodness. These we can do over the weekend too. These with some Ethiopian opal. That if you don't know Global Prospecting and Robert, you need to go over to his channel and subscribe. He does giveaways and opal cutting every Thursday in the evening around 9 o'clock. So, hi Jordan. Exami, is it? Or Zyme? So these were some giveaways that I won. So we're going to cut those. And if we have that many people in the chat, I might just cut something. So this was the plan to cut today too, which we will do. It started raining, so I can't do it. But this was some phosphosiderite that I have. Really nice. We can try that. We can try that, see if it breaks up. But look at the color on that. This is natural from Peru. Sometimes it comes in sort of botryoidal bubbles. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. And look at that piece. So if it hadn't started raining, this is what I wanted to cut. And you know what? Why not just see? Make an absolute mess. But we're going to go over this way. Like that. Now under different stand. We're going to go in a little. Let's see if we can get some of this cut. Sorry for all the movement and changes. I really apologize. Just doesn't quite go in how you want it sometimes. Let's try that. All right, we'll try this piece. This piece feels a little more matrixy, so I don't know how well it's going to hold together, but that's why we're here and why you're here, so let's give it a try. I'll try cutting from the side, which is not easy. All right. Not very hard. So how I'm doing this, I don't know how I'm doing it. I have my arm around a triple tripod. Multi-talented. So let's do a little bit of a girdle angle. Get that end, if that end is too pointy. Doesn't have to be completely rounded, but rounded somewhat so it doesn't break. Just off a little symmetrical. Sorry, it's get the girdle going at 45. So it's not the girdle I'm doing at 45. This is the dome. I'm just bringing it down all the way around about 45 down to about a 5mm there. And hopefully, if this goes well, it shouldn't take too long. I cannot see the chat right now, I apologize. If you are in the chat and you haven't been here before, this is not the way it's meant to be. First off, we started outside and it decided to rain because we mentioned what beautiful weather it was. And just a second ago, my tripod decided to take a dive. I'm working with another tripod in between my legs and my arms while trying not to wobble it. Well, I guess I went in and out. Must have redid me somehow. Do you know what it was? I bet it stopped at 2 hours. Did the live just stop for a second? I didn't see it. I was working on the stone. A little bit more. All the way around. So yeah, I go live once a week. Cutting, polishing on the saw. And I do a couple of videos and maybe a short or two during the week as well. I love joining other people in the chat that I see over in other communities. So the jewelry community is absolutely wonderful. Very kind and friendly people. Same goes for the lapidary people and the rock communities. Everybody's just willing to share. It's just fantastic. Do this a little. going to move this one more time. I apologize, but we're going to move. This is a phosphosiderite. This is from Peru. It is natural. Excuse me, we can do this one last time to there. There we go. Alright, I'll try not to move you anymore, I promise. I'm sorry, I can't hear. Yes, you can. So to the grit change, it was a high grit right here, and I started that. As long as you go softly on the 80, it won't take too much off too quick. Otherwise, you end up on these metal wheels. They can grind away really quickly. I'm about to hit the 280 on a Nova, which is a little bit different. But I'm not pushing that hard, and I'm going to show you this in a second because it looks really good. Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate you coming in. Come join me again next week. I really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the support. I love all the comments that you throw into my videos too. That really helps, and you're extremely kind, so thank you. Okay. If you wait for 2 more seconds, I'm going to show you this phosphosiderite. Okay, maybe 20 seconds. Let me just get the girdle again. So yes, phosphosiderite, it's purple, it's natural, it comes from Peru. I was actually looking at some of the prices last night. It can get pretty expensive. This was something I got off of one of the live sales on YouTube, and I think I got pretty fortunate with the price that I paid. Alright, almost there. Almost done, Ellie, you ready? Promise. Because we're going to save the next 3 wheels for another time. Okay. So, I don't really have any more facets. And there you go. Look at that. That's wonderful. Isn't that cool? Alright. Very, very happy with that. So, even though we didn't get to cut any of the other, it didn't fall to pieces. It stayed together pretty well. And, yeah, this is gorgeous. That's under that light, and then this is under the phone light. Wow. Yeah, I like that one a lot. So, thank you all for sticking around. I really appreciate you. It's very kind of you. It gives me more reason to continue. If you have any questions or have any suggestions of what we can do another time, please either put it in this chat or go to one of my other videos and just make a comment. I'm happy to fill any requests. We'll go out and source whatever material it is. But yeah, those are 2 beautiful stones right there. So yeah, thanks once again. I might go live over the weekend, so keep an eye out. I have no idea what time or when. It'll just be whatever feels right. So we'll see you in the next one. Love you all. And in the meantime, take care of each other. And most of all, take care of yourself. Cheers now. Love you.